Hey guys, this is a this is a follow up to the first video I made um, in regard to the strong message that the Spirit of God put on me about my Jewish brothers and sisters. So the first video was on my way to a family vacation, and you know, you heard that. And then upon arriving there, I think it was about 2 days after, I was walking on the beach. Had my earbuds in, had some music going, walking along the beautiful ocean. And another profound emotional experience happened with the same sentiment as the first one. So I wanted to describe to you that. So what happened was, I was feeling the presence of God. And I know when the presence of God is coming in, because my normal thoughts cease to be there, and it's almost like my thinking goes away, and I come into more of a place of presence, of pure awareness. It's like my awareness is heightened. It's like a place where your thoughts, emotions, attention, like everything becomes one. And in this presence, what happened was, so I'm walking down the beach, and of course I'm still having to watch where I'm going, not walk into someone who's laying there. So part of me is doing that, but the majority of me is experiencing this inner vision, emotionally, mentally, and experientially, of what it was the same feeling of compassion for, and I don't even know the politically correct or proper way to describe like all of the descendants of Abraham, of Joshua, Jacob, Daniel, King David, like of the Old Testament, like all of the descendants of those people is who I'm referring to. So I knew that is what the sentiment was about. And what happened is, it's tough to describe because it gets so emotional. It's tough for me to speak through it. It was like I was in a heavenly, it was like I was in heaven. Like the feelings of glory and joy and peace were more radiant than the bright sun on that 90-degree day along the ocean. The brightness of that sun that's blinding, this inner light, this white light, was brighter and more powerful than that upon my heart and my soul. And what I perceived before me was a table. It was like a banquet table. And there were other people there. I can't say as I knew them in this life, but it was as if they were my dearest friends. And also who was there was Christ. And it started off as this wonderful, beautiful experience. And then quickly, I perceived this sadness and this sorrow. And I knew it was coming from Christ. And the minute I perceived it, the instant I perceived it, the knowing came to me that this banquet table was much, much bigger than I had originally perceived. It was so big, it was almost incomprehensible. And it was like I could see all the empty places at the table. And I could feel, although Christ was so happy that I was there and everyone was there and wanted to be in joy with us, a big part of his heart was sorrowful that every seat wasn't filled. And it was like everyone who was there felt this sorrow and wanted the same thing that Christ wanted. And upon feeling that, I felt in his heart, it wasn't like he was showing favoritism, but it was like his own brother wasn't there, and his own sister. It was almost like his very, like all of his good friends were there and he loved everybody, but his very best friend wasn't there. And there was such sorrow that like none of us wanted to sit at this banquet table. We all wanted to get up and find his best friend and bring him to be part of this because it's so wonderful. And that was basically the experience. So I'm walking down the beach, tears streaming down my face, partially in joy because of the beautiful, blissful presence of being in the presence of, it was like I was in the presence of God. And it was like Christ was our big brother who we looked up to, with a kindness and a compassion and a gentleness that was, everyone just admired him. And it was like if he was sad, everyone was sad. So I knew I had to also add this onto the video. And so that was the experience, and I can't express in words through this body and just through my voice, I can't express the love and longing that I felt from this divine being named Jesus. And longing, it was a longing for everybody. The longing was for all of the table to be filled with all of God's children. But he allowed me to perceive in for the dearness and tenderness and that he has for his brothers and sisters that are of his same line, really wanting them there with him. And then after this scene passed away, and I'm there, just kind of my soul reeling from what I just experienced, it was as if Christ had a gift. He has this precious gift that he wants everyone to accept. And there's like really no strings attached. It's a free gift. And And I could feel his longing and his pleading to me to do anything I could to convey this. And I know I'm falling short. But all I could say this really goes to anyone listening, but especially if anyone happens to come across this, who your descendants are the Israelites, are the Hebrew people, they're Jewish. Christ has such a longing to give you a gift that will help pull you into the presence of God more fully, in the knowing of Him. It's like He has given Himself so fully. He has become, in His glorified self, the vibration of His being is the doorway, has become the gate into heaven to the Father. And He's calling out, like, come to me. Come to me, brothers and sisters. I'm having trouble trying to describe the fullness of this love and this longing that I felt in His heart for all of His brothers and sisters to know and have this presence that He has with the Father. And He offers Himself to be that gateway to it. So again, like in the other video, He's just asking if you call out to Him and ask for Him to come into your heart, He becomes the path into this realm. Okay. Peace. Thank you for listening, and blessings.